I don't particularly think I'm bad looking, but no one wants to date me.
There are just not enough attractive men out there, and there are so many hot women.
SOS, I need a man. Like, literally right now, I need a man.
I'm not a good woman, okay? I promise you don't want me. I don't cook, I don't clean, I'm not...
This here is what's left in the dating pool. Women who do nothing but expect everything.
There are too many men on this earth for me to sit around and deal with one motherfucker that don't want to act right.
How do single women go on dates with random men that they've never met?
Why do a lot of women find nice guys boring? Nice guys
are boring to them because those guys don't bring chaos. They bring peace. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
Never cut your hose off. Always keep a backup man.
Is when men get upset that a woman wants a man with money, yet
I find myself so much more happier when I'm not focusing on men.
Girls like nice guys. You're gonna get friend zoned because you're too available.
So I'm struggling with this whole being single thing, and I think whenever I tell people that, their initial response is like, oh, well, you should just like focus on yourself.
One of the things I think is hardest about being single,
I've been getting a lot of responses from men saying that they don't want modern women have bad attitude.
I agree.
SOS, I need a man. Like, literally right now, I need a man. I bought a house by myself, which is really, really cool. So fucking proud of myself. The part that nobody tells you about buying a house while you're a single woman is that now I get to maintain a house by myself. Okay, can we get into the number one problem that I'm having right now? This is my front door. She's red. We love her. She's so cute. This is the gate to my front door. And if we look really quick right here at this handle, see how that looks like that? And look. See how it's locked, shut permanently? You know, University of YouTube only goes so far. I need a man to come fix this shit. My girlfriend Miranda came over yesterday and I was like, hi, girlie, come to the fucking back door. My front door's locked.
Well, apparently this woman is having some issues, and now she's suddenly reminded how important men are, saying she needs a man. Funny how that works. When everything was good, men were optional, disposable, even criticized. But the moment life gets hard, suddenly the same men she once overlooked or disrespected become necessary. This is the reality. Some women only want a man when they're in crisis, when the bills are piling up, when they're emotionally overwhelmed, or when being independent stops being cute and starts getting lonely. Wanting a man as a lifeline instead of a lifetime partner isn't love. It's survival. And too many men are waking up to this game. They're tired of only being called on when life gets uncomfortable. A man is not a backup plan, a bailout, or an emotional crutch.
I'm not a good woman, okay? I promise you don't want me. I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do 50-50. I'm smarter than you. I won't listen to you. I will stress you out. And I like to spend a lot of money, okay? We ain't compatible. Leave me alone.
Do not try to catcall me because really I look sweet, but I'm really not nice. I'm not nice at all. And it's gonna hurt your feelings with the look on my face tells you to die. Like, and then if you keep on and I have to fucking form words to tell you to die, you're gonna be so hurt. And then I'm gonna be a bitch. And then guess what? My car is really big so I can run you over. Who's the bitch now?
The only men who like to go overseas to find a partner is men who like to prey on vulnerable women. Because when you go find a wife in the Philippines or Thailand or Eastern Europe, I'm assuming you mean they're more biddable, that they're less outspoken, they don't demand anything of you, that they're just happy to be rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity, and in return, all they have to do is subject themselves to your advances. Why you want to go overseas to find a partner? Is it because you prefer your woman biddable, without opinions, unable to fight back, and vulnerable?
So bitter and so angry. She mentions that the only types of men who go overseas are the ones preying on vulnerable women. That statement right there is complete nonsense. It's a weak, recycled insult used by women who are upset that they're no longer the default choice. Just like this woman, there are many others who echo the same sentiment, exposing their jealousy and bitterness. The truth is, they're not mad about what the men are doing. They're mad that the men are done with them. The majority of these women are just upset because they're not wanted, and they don't know how to cope with that reality. Instead of looking inward and asking, why are so many men walking away from women like me, or Western women, they attack the men who found peace and appreciation elsewhere. It's not about vulnerability overseas, it's about femininity and respect, things that many modern Western women have rejected.
I don't particularly think I'm bad looking, all right? I have a job, I pay my phone bill, but no one wants to date me. And the answer is not that my standards are too high, because I've dated 3 rats in a trench coat just because they wanted to take me out to dinner one time. So what's wrong with me? Why?
I tried this new thing yesterday and I think that it really worked. I was walking down the street and this guy starts catcalling me and he was like, you look so sexy, baby. Like, you look so good today, blah, blah, blah. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh my God, thanks, girl. And I just like flipped my hair and I was like, thanks, girly pop. He looked so confused and he didn't say one more word. He was silenced. And to me, that's a sign of success. So I'm going to do it again and you should try it.
Should I still trust women?
No. A client of mine, single mom, has 3 kids. They all have different dads, but by her own doing. So she has enough of her own money, but she always wants a man with more money. So she dates these men in higher positions and whatnot. And they have broken up with her. And what she actually does is she goes and gets artificially inseminated, tells them that she's pregnant by them. She lies to these men. And then by the time the paternity test comes out, obviously they know they're not the dad. She's done it 3 times.
And all the kids are by just
different donors. She's got a couple screws loose. She's just, I want more kids and I want someone who also wants kids. And I was like, well, have you tried asking these men to have kids with you? She's like, well, they just keep breaking up with me. And I'm like, I wonder why.
Imagine that, huh? A single mother of 3 wants a man who makes more money than her, even though she already has her own money. Not only is she good at making bad decisions, she's also good at trying to ruin men's lives by getting artificially inseminated to fake a pregnancy. It's wild how some women can be so reckless with their choices, yet still feel entitled to a man who's financially above them, as if his only value is what he can provide. And when they don't get what they want, they resort to manipulation, deception, and straight-up fraud. It's not about love or partnership. It's about control and leverage. These types of women treat men like walking wallets, and when that fails, they weaponize sympathy and lies to trap them. This is exactly why men need to protect themselves, ask questions, and never feel guilty about demanding a paternity test. When someone is willing to go this far just to force a man into her life, it's not just desperate. It's dangerous.
Whenever I've heard a man say, let me see what you look like with no makeup. Let me see what you look like without the hair. I feel that that man is telling you that he does not have the money to finance your beauty upkeep.
If you're ugly, just say that.
Yep.
I know that this is self-sabotage, but sometimes when a guy asks me a question and I can feel in the air that he wants me to sell myself, I say the craziest thing I can think of in my head and I try to go so off script. Like yesterday, a guy asked me, what is my toxic trait? Unprompted, out of nowhere, just trying to pivot the conversation in a way that I felt like he was trying to make me sell myself to him. So I was like, my toxic trait is that I like to use men. Yes, I do. Yeah, I can't help myself. Because in that moment, they either want me to say something that I don't realize is a red flag and hit me with the gotcha, or I feel like they want me to try to sell myself as somebody who's likable and somebody who's trying to be their girlfriend or wifey material, you know? And yeah, I had fun. I had fun giving that stupid ass but genuine answer.
This video is in defense of the modern woman because I've been getting a lot of responses from men saying that they don't want modern women have bad attitudes, or that they shame and guilt and all these negative things. While I'm not saying that there may not be women out there who are this way, I do want men to understand that this comes from somewhere. That a lot of modern women, I'm going to speak for myself in this situation, don't trust men to be a traditional man. They're therefore allowing her to be a traditional woman. A lot of times grow up in households where men were not the providers or the protectors. And what was instilled in us from either our mothers or just from our own observations is that we have to take care of ourselves and we have to be independent, because you cannot rely on a man, not because we don't want to, but because we've seen dysfunctionality in the way that our parents had their relationship. So as I speak to other modern women, a lot of them say that it's not that they wouldn't like to be taken care of, it's the fact that a lot of women don't trust men because of the men that they've seen in their lives.
Well, everything starts with her. If she isn't traditional, there's no way for her to attract a traditional man. And these men are completely right for not wanting to deal with a modern woman. The attitudes, the entitlement, the lack of accountability, and the masculine demeanor are major turn-offs for the majority of these men. A man who leads, protects, and provides doesn't want to come home to someone who constantly challenges him or brings chaos. And if a lot of women can't trust men because of the men they've seen in their lives, whether it's their fathers, brothers, or past relationships, then those women should be looking to heal, not projecting that distrust onto every man they meet. Healing is necessary before entering a relationship. Otherwise, they'll sabotage any chance at something real. Carrying unhealed trauma and expecting a good man to fix it or carry that emotional baggage is unfair.
The reason men need to be pursuing women is because we literally don't need you. We don't need you. So why the hell would we pursue something that we don't need? Studies have shown that women who are married have a lower life expectancy than women who are unmarried. We don't need you. In fact, you actually actively kill us. On the other hand, men who are married have a higher life expectancy than unmarried men. You need us. You need us. So, of course, we are the fucking prize. Of course, you should be pursuing us. Why the hell would we pursue something that will kill us earlier? Woo! Period. Where are all the single straight men? Like, I genuinely think there's an inventory issue. Because when I tell you guys, I know so many single women that are successful, beautiful, fun, funny, cool, intelligent, like amazing, amazing women that are the full package, but cannot find a guy.
Go out last night with a couple of girlfriends and we went to Wally's in Santa Monica. It was very, very cute, a good vibe. We're just having like a little girls' night, whatever. We're in the back, we're sitting, we're just chatting, and these two guys come over and they start chatting it up with us, and it was fine. We were being friendly, we were being nice, and they were like good conversation. I began to notice that these guys, within the first 15 minutes, they did not offer to buy us drinks. Mind you, we weren't drinking anything. We were just sitting there. We were actually really kind of buying time until we went to the next spot. So we're talking, 15 minutes goes by, they didn't offer to buy drinks, nothing. They're just talking to us. Another 15 minutes go by, we're still talking. Another 15 minutes go by, we're still talking. I get to the point where I'm like, okay, we've been here for a while. I'm getting bored, I'm getting annoyed, and we were been supposed to leave, but here we are talking to these guys that we actually aren't even really interested in. And so I excused myself to the bathroom, thinking that that was going to be the cue for the other girls to realize that, hey, either join me in the bathroom for us to regroup, or hey, let's wrap these things up with these guys and let's keep it moving to the next spot. No, I get back, still talking. So finally, I tapped my friend and I just told her like, hey, I'm ready, like, let's go.
Escort, someone who is financially compensated for their time and companionship, often in a social setting. You're not entitled to a man's money. Hope that helps. You're not who you think you are. Your friends were the main event, which is why they had no problem continuing to converse with the men. How dare those men not just start throwing out money just because it's you? Shame on them. Now this is very laughable. This woman openly stated she wasn't even interested in those men, yet still expected them to buy drinks for her and her friends. This right here is what entitlement from a modern woman looks like. Imagine having zero romantic or personal interest in someone, but still feeling like you're owed their money and attention just because you showed up. It's the mindset of, I exist, therefore I deserve, and it's become all too common. These women walk into clubs and bars with the expectation that men should pay just for the privilege of being in their presence. No conversation, no connection, just blind entitlement. And if a man refuses, suddenly he's broke or insecure. No, he's just tired of being used. This behavior isn't empowerment. It's exploitation dressed up as confidence. Real confidence is self-respect, not manipulation.
When we have a society full of women with no accountability, guess what? It just repeats the cycle. And then the daughters grow up same exact way. We're teaching our daughters how to be queens instead of being wives. Teaching young men to be gentlemen, to be providers, to pay for everything, to open the doors. Meanwhile, we're telling our daughters, know your worth and never settle. So one side's learning selflessness, the other side's learning self-prioritization. But unfortunately, little girls are taught what do they deserve versus what do they also bring to the relationship. And I'm raising a protector and a provider, and the last thing I want is my son to end up with your dusty daughter thinking that being submissive to a good man is oppression. Last I checked, equality doesn't mean that women get to wear the crown while men get to carry the cross.
Last night, I was at dinner with my girlfriend and we were talking about the fact that there are just not enough attractive men out there, and there are so many hot women. And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Even if I were to walk down the street right now, I could guarantee you in the span of a few blocks, I would see a handful of gorgeous women. Women with style, women with poise, women who are just conventionally attractive. And I might see one attractive man, and that's on a good day.
Maybe it's not that men are no longer attractive. Maybe it's just that you're not attracted to men. Men are being made the same way men have always been made. I don't know. I think the same argument could be made by men talking about women, because men oftentimes they love a more natural look from women. But let's just consider that our standard of beauty might be getting a little bit warped between men and women, because women that put themselves on a pedestal will say that men are not taking care of themselves if they're in jeans and a t-shirt. And as that's happening, I just think that we all just need to bring ourselves down a notch and humble ourselves.
I would have to agree on that. This is exactly why I say women overvalue their beauty. With all the filters, photo edits, angles, and attention they get on social media, a lot of them have developed a false sense of self-worth. They start believing they're something they're not, thinking they're 10s when, in reality, they're average at best. So when they step into the real world and reality doesn't match the validation they've gotten online, it becomes a harsh wake-up call. Now this woman is saying it's hard for her to find an attractive man, but the reality is the men she's running into are probably exactly her type of man. The real issue is that those men aren't checking for her the way she believes they should. She can't see them because she thinks she deserves someone out of her league, based purely on looks that are either fading or fabricated. It's not that men aren't available, it's that her inflated ego won't let her accept the men who actually align with her.
If I was a man, every woman would want me because I would just love and cherish them and tell them how beautiful and precious they were and kiss them on their foreheads.
There's a woman that already tried this.
Nora was surprised that many women had no interest in a soft, vulnerable man.
My prejudice was that the ideal man is a woman in a man's body. And I learned, no, that's really not. There are a lot of women out there who really want a manly man.
I am seeing so many posts about, I do not do 50-50. If you do not do 50-50, you do not need to keep repeating yourself. We hear you, sweetie. I do not do 50-50. And I don't ever have to tell a man over and over again, I do not do 50-50. Because if you didn't hear me the first time, then I know that we are not compatible. The moment that you tell me, let's go have on dinner, and we're at dinner, of course I'm going to be prepared to pay for it. But now you are my brother. You are my cousin. I will introduce you to someone that you are more compatible with because you are not compatible with me. And I made that very clear when I was single. If you try that, I am not the girl for you, and it's okay. I just never was raised to do 50-50. I don't even know what that looks like. My dad raised me, and every woman that he dated or was in a relationship with, married to, whatever he was taking care of it. He was being a man. So ladies, stop repeating yourself. If he's not getting it, get your purse and walk out. You do not need to continue with this conversation. This conversation is not for you. If he has a problem with it, that's a he problem, because you are going to find somebody that doesn't have to do that 50-50.
Too many women today proudly say they don't do 50-50, which, fine, if that's your standard. But the problem is, they don't do anything else either. They bring nothing to the table, no support, no peace, no value. They just sit there, cross their legs, scroll on their phone and expect everything to be handed to them like they're royalty. It's like, besides draining a man's resources financially, emotionally, mentally, what exactly are you adding to his life? Because beauty fades and entitlement gets old real fast. A relationship is supposed to be a partnership, not a parasitic setup where one person gives and the other just takes. If you're not helping him grow, if you're not bringing peace to his mind or contributing in any meaningful way, then why should he keep pouring into someone who's never filling his cup?
Those guys that say she's single for a reason, women are not single because they can't get a man. Women don't even need to leave the house to get a man. Most of the time their DMs are filled with men. Every single woman on earth has men chasing them. If a woman is single, it's a sign that she knows what she wants and that she doesn't put up with shit.
It is a man's role to provide.
Okay.
Yeah. If everyone keeps talking about the traditional roles, then
Yeah.
I guess it is a man's job to
So
provide.
if it's a man's role to provide,
Yeah.
will you take care of the house?
Of course.
Okay. So you will cook, clean, support him?
No.
No?
I will hire someone to
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I sense a
if
bit of
I
double
can,
standard
no, but if I can
Okay, so
afford
not
it,
to
if
clean.
my man can afford it, then why? I'm giving
Okay, so
birth
but
to
what
your
will-
kids,
what-
no?
what-
Obviously, if I want to work, I want to have my own side thing. I would love to, but it's not going to be to bring money in the house.
Okay, so what's the woman's role?
Taking care of the children,
Taking
giving
care of the
birth.
children. So raising the children.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, that's fair, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
we
a certain
agree
extent,
with
that's fair. Like, you can hire someone to cook, but you can't hire someone to take care of your kids.
I love how every woman is always talking about how they don't want to settle. They're not settling for less than they deserve. Okay, but honestly speaking, most of the women that are saying this don't really deserve much. Like, you guys are not a catch. You're living in this delusional world and you think that you deserve the world. You expect men to settle for you. And just because you have these unrealistic expectations and standards, why the hell should men settle for you when they actually deserve a whole lot better? And that's the reality. And that's why men are walking away from dating. Men just don't care to put in the effort anymore. Men are not going up to women anymore because men don't want to settle either. But the funny thing is, men are actually more realistic about their expectations. Women are not.
That is true. The reality is a lot of women will say, accept me for who I am, flaws and all, but then turn around and list 1,000 things they expect from a man. He has to be tall, make 6 figures, have emotional intelligence, be in shape, be loyal, be romantic, have status, ambition, patience, and the list goes on. Meanwhile, they're bringing entitlement, attitude, and a laundry list of past trauma to the table, expecting to be worshipped just for showing up. Many of them will loudly proclaim, I deserve this, I deserve that. But the truth is, you don't deserve anything you haven't earned. Relationships aren't about entitlement. They're about value exchange, character, and mutual effort. If a man has to work for love, respect, and loyalty, then so should a woman. But modern dating is flooded with women who believe just existing is enough, like beauty is some kind of permanent currency with infinite value. What they don't understand is that beauty fades, entitlement repels, and men today are walking from that.
It does not bother me like it bothers you females when my man tells me to do something. Whatever he says goes. That's just the bottom line for me. I don't care what you guys think. You're like, oh, you're acting like a pick-me. How am I acting like a pick-me if I'm already picked? And I'm going to stay picked because at the end of the day, I honor my man. I respect him. If he tells me not to post something, I'm not posting it. If he tells me not to do something, I'm not doing it. I'm not arguing about it. I'm not going back and forth about it. Because that's the man that I chose to protect me and to provide for me and to be there for me. So I trust his word. So when he says take that down, it's going to down. I'm not asking him why. His reasoning is his reasoning, and I'm trusting his reasoning on why he wants me to do something or not do something. So for y'all coming at me and saying all these weird things, it does not bother me that I respect my man. And the reason why he loves me the way he does is because he knows how I stand behind him. So I guess I am a pick-me. But he picked me. The
female loneliness epidemic is here, and I'm here for it. This is what happens when you sit out here and you promote these pandering content creators who play to your hurt emotions, your bitterness, and your terrible experiences. So that way y'all get online and you spew, vitriol and hatred toward men because you know what? You had some bad dealings with a couple of them. And now my timeline is filled up with women complaining about where's all the good men at? Where are the men at for this? Where are the men at for that? Where's the men that want to go on dates? Where's the men that yearn? Where's the men that court? Where's the men that do da 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 da? And now my new timeline is filled up with where's all the men at for the singles events? Where it's nothing but women at singles events. It's like 95% women at these singles events. What happened? Where's the men? The men listen. Y'all thought that making these videos go viral, these content creators who try to, pander and manipulate to your emotions and your bad experiences, you thought talking shit and bashing men was going to be fun. It was fun for the moment. It helped you feel good, right? But men paid attention to that shit. Realized a lot of you don't even like men. And now y'all got all these women out here begging, crying, where's all the men? Well, maybe you should hold women accountable.
The reality is, modern women brought this upon themselves. This wave of female loneliness we're seeing today. It exposes a lot. It reveals that despite all the independence talk, despite the "I don't need a man" slogans, many women are in fact deeply lonely. That's why we keep seeing videos of them crying in their cars, venting on podcasts, or asking, where are all the good men? It shows that pushing men away, belittling them, making them feel unwanted, treating them as disposable, had consequences. Consequences they never thought they would face. For years, they were told they had all the time in the world, that men would always be there, that they could do what they want, live how they want, and a good man would still be waiting at the finish line. Now, female loneliness isn't just about wanting companionship. It's a mirror showing the results of years of poor choices, pride, and ignoring the value of good men. And it hurts because deep down, they know the men they want no longer see them the same way, and may never come back.
Ladies, do me a favor. When you put these lists out of I require all of these things, right next to that list, do us all a favor and put a list out of what you provide. What do you bring to the table that warrants you making this long list? Salary, how many cars, how many this and that you want the guy to provide? I want to see the list of what you provide so we can see if it matches, right? Are you bringing to the table the same quantity and quality that you expect? Or are there games going on? I'll wait.
Y'all, this is why I will never do 50-50 with a man. I don't believe that we are equal in any way, shape, or form. God literally made men and women different for a reason with their own responsibilities. So you will never catch me trying to take up the responsibility of a man in our household. Absolutely not. Y'all, for real, I'm just a girl. I'm literally just a girl. I'm perfectly fine being the stay-at-home wife that makes a ton of money from my phone, and I actually am there to take care of the kids. I am perfectly fine with that. But that's why it's so important for you guys to marry good and to marry a man that also has these types of values. Because even the men that have that 50-50 mindset, I'm sorry, but that's not manly at all. You expect your wife to split 50-50 with you on bills while she's taking care of the children she birthed for you? That is diabolical. That's diabolical, and that can never be me.
Maybe back then, this setup would have worked. But in today's world, where prices are up on everything, from rent to groceries to childcare. That mindset is completely unrealistic and selfish. This woman's mentality is basically, your money is our money and my money is mine. That's not a partnership. That's entitlement disguised as empowerment. If your wife is comfortable watching you struggle to pay the bills, carry the full financial burden, and stress day in and day out while she hoards her income, or refuses to contribute, that is not your wife. That's a roommate with benefits. A real partner steps in, supports you, and makes life easier, not heavier. This woman says she wouldn't go 50-50 because she gave birth to children. First off, yes, childbirth is a sacrifice, but parenting is a two-person job. And financial responsibility doesn't just disappear because you were pregnant. That logic falls apart fast, especially when many women today expect luxury lifestyles, constant upgrades and financial security, all while refusing to help build or maintain it. The truth is, using motherhood as a reason to avoid contributing financially while still demanding a man cover everything is manipulative.
How do people go on dates with people that they don't know? Like, truly, how do single women go on dates with random men that they've never met, they don't know, they've only had like a few conversations with? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious how women go on dates with men, like how women go on dates. If I don't know you, like stranger danger, I don't even want to get to know you. Stranger danger, I'm also not going to waste my time. If I don't think that you're going to be 100% perfect for me, why am I going on a date with you? I don't care about a free meal or whatever. Losing on an afternoon or an evening of my free time to waste my time is not something that I am looking for. I don't go on a date unless I know that there's potential, which is probably why I've never been on a date.
He does not fall in love with your effort. He does not fall in love with you because you always cook, you always clean, you always pack his suitcase, you're always there, you always pick up the phone. You're just like his mother, right? You're so predictable and so comfortable and it's so convenient because you're always on call. He falls in love with the woman that doesn't always pick up the phone. He falls in love with the woman that probably burned the chicken nuggets and they just get takeout. He falls in love with the woman that doesn't even pick up the phone at 3 a.m. when he calls at the pub with the boys because he misses her, because she has a beauty sleep. He falls in love with the woman that cancels last minute on date night with him because she rather sees the girls because they're in town. He falls in love with the woman that he needs to drive to make the effort and see her, as opposed to the woman that happily jumps into an Uber to come to his place. Men fall in love with women they need to make an effort for. Because even from a scientific perspective, that's how men bond with you. Through dopamine, testosterone and vasopressin. They're natural hunters, they're natural chasers. They want to conquer a woman. They want to have the mystery and they want to be able to figure you out. Because in the process of problem solving, in the process of chasing you, by always texting, by always driving you to work, by always coming with you to doctor's appointments, by giving you flowers, gifts, jewelry, money, whatever the frick it is, in the process of him making an effort for you, that's how he further bonds with you. He needs to have the space to be the man to bond with you. Convenient woman, the placeholder, the loyal golden retriever that is always chasing after him, always says yes and amen to everything, laughs about every one of his jokes, always picks up the phone, even if it's 3 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't excite him. She, through her efforts, is in her masculine energy chasing him. It deters him. He doesn't want to be around her. From a neuroscientific perspective, he's not even able to bond with her because there's no space for him to actually show up as the man he truly wants to be for her. He wants to be the problem solver. He wants to conquer. But this golden retriever woman that is always on his ass 24/7, she doesn't even play tricks on his mind. She doesn't even cross his mind at all because she's always right there. Stop being the loyal golden retriever. Get off his ass. Pull back, become the black cat, and give this man actually space to show up for you.
I'm pretty sure this is a guide on how to lose a good man. Why wouldn't a man love a woman who's there for him, who picks up the phone at 3 a.m., not to argue or demand something, but just to listen, to comfort, to be present? That kind of loyalty and emotional support is already rare in today's dating world. A woman like that stands out because she shows up, not just when things are good, but when he needs someone the most. But instead, this woman is basically telling other women to play games, to make men chase them, to manipulate emotions just to make him fall in love. That's not love, that's strategy. And good men are tired of being turned into targets. Real love isn't built through manipulation. It's built through presence, effort, and consistency. If your whole plan is to make a man chase you, just remember, once he sees there's nothing real on the other side, he'll stop running.
So the reason that men don't care about your career the way that women care about a man's career is because when is a man going to have the opportunity to be fully taken care of by his wife? You don't really see that. That doesn't really happen. But men, on the other hand, are happy to accept the provider role if they can do it. Women care about how much a man earns because men actually will accept that provider role. Whereas a woman could be making more than the man and she'll still want to keep all her money and think that his money is both of their money, but her money is her money to keep. Women are much more stingier when it comes to money. So your career, your diplomas, your degrees, why would a man find that hot if he doesn't get to take advantage of it? Doesn't really benefit him.
Men, in general, are never truly benefited by their woman's money. It's almost always the other way around. And what this woman said is absolutely true. We hear it all the time today. My money is my money, and his money is our money. That phrase alone tells you everything you need to know about the mindset. It insinuates that a man's role is strictly to provide, while a woman's income is optional, untouched, and reserved solely for herself. As if the relationship is a one-way street when it comes to financial responsibility. This dynamic exposes a deeper problem. Modern relationships are often built on expectations that men give and women receive. A man is praised for how much he can offer, while a woman can bring the bare minimum and still feel entitled to a luxurious lifestyle simply because she exists in the relationship.